never have been more happy to be in Hartford in my life. My name is Maddie Martin, but a lot of people call me Mads, and since I almost died yesterday, I'm gonna do something that scares me every day. Day one, a YouTube channel. Oh my god, I look like a knockoff Mormon. So I currently go to school in Vermont, and I had to come back to my home state of Connecticut yesterday, and you know, I had an hour flight into Washington, D.C., and then I was going to have another hour flight into Connecticut, and I was going to get home at around midnight.
Beautiful piece of cake.
Mercury is in Gatorade, so I love how I think I'm funny. I think I'm the funniest person ever. First flight, awesome. Ran into a couple friends from school. Great. Came to the Washington airport. Historically, I've not had a good time with that airport. Almost every single flight I've had, gone from like gate A, which is in a whole other terminal, to gate D, which is the end of a whole other terminal. So I have to scale like the entire airport to catch my next flight, and normally I have like 45 minutes, which is not a lot of time. An hour and a half layover. Great, I got some food, found my gate, everything was fine until it wasn't. Boarded the plane, and they weren't taking off, and it was making really weird noises, and everyone was like, what? And then the pilot was like, yeah, you know, the pilot door isn't opening or closing very well, so we're gonna get a mechanic up in here. Which, I mean, I get it if it was the airplane door, but it's the cockpit door, and I don't know anything about planes. But why is that important exactly? Like, ooh, first class sees the back of your head. Scandalous. They kick us off the plane. A lot of people are not happy at this point.
Don't go too far in any cases here. Make sure you listen to the announcements.
The pilot peeks his head back out, and then literally he goes back and forth between the plane and the area that we're waiting. So he'll go in, peek his head in, shake his head no, and then leave. And he did this several times. That was our update for about 2 hours. There was a lot of screaming, which, yeah, I get, but like, eventually I start fake crying because as a white woman, I've learned that that's how I get my way. I was like, playing it up, and they were like, okay, if the situation isn't fixed by 1:15 in the morning, we'll get you a hotel room free of charge. Here's another flight for the next day at like 12 in the afternoon, free of charge. Like, don't worry about it. But I knew the second I left, like if I left to go get a hotel, or if I took up on their offer, the flight would take off like right at that minute. So I was like, great, because I'm stuck here. Eventually they switched terminals. So we went from Terminal C, which is like right at the beginning of this terminal, to the last terminal in Terminal D. And fun fact, this happened during the spring equinox. So now it's 3 in the morning, and they finally get us a plane after the pilot several times has come in, shook his head, and then left. I'm fine. I have a Dunkin' coffee. I'm a little tired, but you know what? Whatever. We board at like 3 in the morning. A whole new plane. It's pouring rain outside, and all of us are petrified that we're not going to be able to get to our final destination because there's a huge storm coming that's supposed to last about 2 days. So this was like the last flight we could possibly take to get to our destination. Otherwise, we would have to make arrangements for Washington, D.C. for several days. Which is great. We board this plane, and then it starts making weird noises. And I'm sitting there, trying not to cry, and this plane is literally screaming. Screaming. I am petrified. One of my worst fears is heights, actually, because of Final Destination. I was prepping for death. The whole time we were in air, the airplane was screaming and there was intense turbulence because we were flying through a storm. The plane is shaking. Literally, like, planes are supposed to be like, it was like this half the time, and everyone else was passed out asleep, but I'm petrified. And I don't pray, but for 55 minutes, I went like this. Like, I was ready. I was in the position they tell you to do when the plane is down the whole time. I was like, okay. I grew up Catholic. I have not practiced since I was about 13, so I'm trying to say the Hail Mary, but I keep forgetting the words. I'm like, Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee, blessed art thou, the fruit of thy womb, Jesus. And I kept saying it over and over and over and over again, and I know it isn't right. I know it's not the right one, but you know what? I gave it my best shot. I keep saying literally, I'm so annoying. There was about 5 minutes where the seatbelt sign was unbuckled, so I went to the back of the plane to use the bathroom, threw up, don't recommend, and went back to my seat and just freaked out. Normally I have music to calm me down. Calming music is pretty amazing, but my phone was dying, and of course my portable charger wasn't working at this point, so my phone's at like 20%. And I have to figure out where I'm staying for the night because it's 4 in the morning and everyone I know is asleep. So I'm stuck. We land. All of our belongings are soaking wet because they had to change terminals. Oh my god. I'm busy. So, belongings. All of our belongings are soaking wet because they had to change terminals, so they were in like the tarmac outside for a very long time because they didn't know if there was a plane or not that we could go to. Booked a hotel room close by, and when I landed I figured out that I booked check-in for 3 p.m. and it's closer to 3 a.m. and I don't want to stay in Bradley International Airport overnight because if you've been there, you'll get it. Start frantically calling hotels, using data on my phone. I don't care at this point. I need a bed and I need a shower like yesterday. So I'm calling places, hotel after hotel after hotel is like, you have no rooms. I call about 20 places and I'm like, do you have any rooms available, please? And they're like, we have one. And I was like, reserve me. I will be right there. They have a shuttle. It comes pick me up. It's great. Get there, I go to check in, and here's some fun things about staying in hotels in America. If you're under 21, you need someone who is 21 to check you in. I'm 19, by myself. The closest person to me is an hour and a half away, and now it is 5 in the morning. So I don't have anyone to help me, and as you can see, did it. I was like, here's my GPA, I have a 4.0, I'm studying psychology, I don't do drugs, you can search me, please, just let me have this room for a night. And she was like, okay. It was really simple, actually. I was very frantic. And then I took a shower, which, honestly, if you are in a situation where you don't have hot water or shelter, like, you learn to really appreciate a bed that is yours, in a room that is yours, and water that works, that isn't covered in mold. Like, you will never, ever, ever, ever understand how fundamental those things are until they're taken away from you. I had a little cry, put on some BTS, and sobbed, and then went to bed at around 7 in the morning. Woke up at 1. My best friend is going to come pick me up at 10 p.m. I booked the room for 2 nights, and I paid in cash because I have a savings account. Thank God. I work 5 jobs, and an entire paycheck of mine goes into a savings account. So I don't have savings anymore, but this was the purpose of the savings. I have a cheese stick, coffee, you know, I'm living life, and that's the tea. That's what happened to me. Overall, this year for me has been insane. And actually, I was working on a collage kind of video to post on YouTube because I am petrified of it. I'm terrified. I don't think I'm good enough to do the things that I want to do, including YouTube or acting or comedy or whatever. And you know what? I am just going to get over that. And I'm going to edit this. And it's going up. And that'll be that. So thanks for watching. You're pretty cool. I'm pretty cool. We're both pretty cool. So there's probably going to be more of this if you want to subscribe. Schedule? I don't know her. So we'll see. We'll see. Have a good day and don't die. Cool.